Welcome everyone to your last semester as a physical therapist assistant student. That's pretty exciting. Congratulations. This course is Physical Therapist Assistant, Rehabilitation Across the Lifespan. And since you are all working hard and getting ready for your exam prep today, we are going to do this virtually. So I'm going to go through all the course information. So you may want to make sure you have in front of you the syllabus, the timeline, course competencies we're just going to briefly touch on, and then we're going to talk about the service learning assignment. So go ahead if you need to pause the recording, get that information in front of you, and then we'll go through it. So the syllabus should look very familiar to you. All my contact information is there. This class meets on Thursdays from 10 a.m. to noon in room 2506, and then in the afternoon from 1 to 5 in room 2608. And therefore the office hours are scheduled from 9 to 10 in the morning before class. If that's not convenient for you, you can always come in and schedule another time with me. I love this class. I think it's a lot of fun. We spend our time basically going through the lifespan. We're going to start at conception and go all the way through very old age. We're going to talk about pathologies and problems that are typical at different times in the lifespan that may bring people to physical therapy. So we divide it into 3 units: pediatrics, which will go through adolescence, then we have a young and middle adulthood unit, and then we have an elderly adult unit. We spend a lot of time on case studies, and you spend a lot of time in small groups working on developing specific treatment activities that you can use to address the physical therapy plan of care. Students in the past have said that it really helps them pull together the information from the last 3 semesters, so it's a very good review. They say it also helps them prepare for your full-time clinicals coming up, and of course for the licensure exam and for a real job. So I hope you're looking forward to it. It's a fun class, and I'm looking forward to working with you in it. As far as textbooks, everything that you see on the screen here you should already have. So the Tecklin and the Neurological Interventions book you used in Neuro, Therex and the O'Sullivan and Schmidt's book you've had for many semesters now, and then you used the Pertillo book last semester in Jim's class. So the only new book that you have this semester is the Geriatric Rehabilitation Textbook for Physical Therapist Assistants by Jennifer Bottomley. This may look a little different than what you have printed out. I did post a new syllabus about a few days ago, about a week ago maybe, and the lecture exams are all essay, so they're all short answer, fill-in-the-blank essay. There's no true and false, there's no multiple choice. And they're fairly long. They take about 3 hours to complete. There's a lot of writing, and so I bumped them up from 50 to 75 points. I didn't add any questions, but it just seems like for 3 hours of work you should get at least 75 points. The project that you'll be doing, the service learning project, is worth 50 points. So remember that you'll need a 75% average on the written exams to successfully complete the course. There aren't any lab exams or checkoffs, so you don't have to worry about that. I know, you're probably all cheering. As far as instructor response and feedback, if you leave me phone messages or emails, I will try very hard to get back to them by the next business day, and we will go through exams on the following class day that you take them. Attendance is no different. Please make sure you call me prior to class if you're going to be tardy or absent, and if you're absent, make sure you ask for a makeup assignment. If you're going to be, if you, heaven forbid, decide to stop attending, we do have to send the last day of your attendance to Student Services. That definitely can impact financial aid. Now, I don't anticipate that being an issue with anyone in class, but we are required to share that information with you. Make sure you use your Blackhawk student email, and make sure you check it frequently, particularly when we're only meeting once a week. It's definitely a way that I'll be communicating with you. You know the cell phone policy, so please make sure that if you have your cell phone, it's not going to vibrate or disrupt class, or we will look forward to your apology the next class period. As far as academic honesty, for this class, collaboration is encouraged with the case study and the small group work. on the study group activity, and it's not allowed on the service learning assignment, or of course on the written exams. And then the last page of the syllabus just goes through the support services that are available for disabilities, technical assistance, for the Blackboard, and for any tutoring assistance. I will highlight you are going to be writing a fair amount for that service learning assignment, so if you need somebody to proofread your paper, give you some hints on how to construct it, this would be a good use of the student services. Go ahead and pull up your timeline. I want to go through the timeline so that you have a really clear idea of what we're going to be doing each class day. This class only meets for 8 weeks, and it's only once a week, so it goes very, very fast. Since we're not in class on the 28th, you will be viewing videos related to normal development. Now, I know you talked a lot about normal development last semester, particularly from birth through 6 years of age. We'll be starting at conception and talking about prenatal development, as well as going up through adolescence, essentially, and adulthood. We are going to cover different areas in which you may be treating pediatrics for physical therapy services, so that will include the neonatal intensive care unit, the birth to 3 model, which is probably more either home care or outpatient, and the school system. So those are the pediatric delivery models we're going to cover. And then also on the 28th, we're going to review some standardized tests that are used for assessment of children with various problems. So some of them will be specifically motor assessments, some will be more comprehensive developmental assessments. There are video links on Blackboard, so make sure you watch those because they show the tests actually being applied to children, and it makes it a lot easier for you to grasp that information. On the 4th, when I actually get to see you in person, then we will be talking about common pathologies and working in those small groups to develop treatment activities to address those pathologies. We'll also be doing the same thing for adolescents. So that's going to be a very big, busy day because you can see on the 11th you already have your first exam. Now I want to highlight that the exams are going to start at 9 in the morning and go till noon so that you have the full 3 hours. So that 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. we're going to use the office hours time to give you more time for the exam. In addition, the service learning project proposal is due, and I will talk more about that in a little bit. On the afternoon of the 11th, then, we will start the second unit, which is on young and middle adulthood. We'll do an overview and cover common pathologies of people in that age range that might bring them to physical therapy. So make sure you're bringing your Kisner and Colby to class. We'll be making good use of that. Also on the 11th, we're going to be talking about sports injuries that may occur in that age range. On the 18th, I'm going to be gone, and you're going to be working with Dana Ames, and she is going to be covering wellness, work injury management, and pregnancy with you. So for wellness, we're really not going to talk a lot about that in class. There are some video links on Blackboard for you to watch prior to class, as well as some supplemental readings in addition to the Kisner and Colby reading. There are case studies related to wellness, and you'll work on those together in class, so you need to come prepared to do that. You'll be talking about pregnancy, about the types of conditions that women may experience during pregnancy that physical therapy can help them manage. And then finally, you're actually going to do a little lab activity related to work injury management. So work injury management relates obviously to kind of more on-the-job or industrial applications, so physical therapy applied in the workplace. And you're going to be going up into the lab at the end of the day and doing a baseline functional evaluation on each other. So it's going to involve some crawling on the floor, some lifting of milk crates with weights up and down for good body mechanics and things like that. So just make sure you wear something active. I'll be back on the 25th just in time to give you your second exam. And again, that'll be from 9 a.m. to noon. Then in the afternoon of the 25th, we will start the geriatrics unit. And we'll be starting by discussing functional assessment tools that are used for the elderly on that day. On the 3rd, we'll review the aging process and try to tease out a little bit changes that occur related to aging, related to pathology, and versus related to inactivity. So it's always interesting to try to do that with an elderly person. And then we'll also be starting our discussion of common pathologies the elderly may have, and our work in the small groups to work on treatment activities. And that will continue on to the 10th. And the 10th is also when your service learning project is due. And then your last exam will be on the 17th. And you will also spend a little bit of time sharing your projects with each other. That's informal. It's just kind of a relaxed atmosphere. It's just you kind of hanging out and talking about what you did. And, if we want to have a little potluck or a little celebration at the end to celebrate you going off onto clinicals, we can certainly do that as well. If you have the course competencies, then you can see that they describe everything that you have to be able to do in order to successfully complete this course. It includes a lot of learning objectives, which are, again, another way to kind of look in and see in more detail what you have to be able to accomplish. And then finally, let's talk about the requirements for the assignment, which is a service learning project. And service learning combines community service with educational objectives. And the important part there is also the deliberate reflection. And the reason we do that is to help you prepare you with knowledge, skills, and values so that you can be involved in both social and professional activities in the community. And I'm a big proponent of involvement in professional activities, and also just simply to provide a service to the community. So we have a number of objectives, and you can see these in detail on your assignment sheet, but one is to meet the course competency of the role of the physical therapist assistant in promoting health and wellness, and also in prevention. And also to demonstrate one or more of the indicators of social responsibility, and that's from the APTA document, Core Values of Professionalism, and that's reproduced in detail on your service learning assignment as well. So some examples. You could work for a pro bono health clinic, get involved in a fun run. Not a lot of those going on in January and February in Wisconsin, but you never know. A lot of people in the past have gone in and spent some time at the elementary, middle school, or high school level and talked to health classes, and gotten involved with gym classes, gotten involved with Girl Scouts or Boy Scout activities. So this is a common way and a popular way that people do their service learning. Another really common way is to look at the other end of the spectrum with the elderly and volunteer at a community center or a nursing facility and on exercise or other activities. Before I go on, I gave you some ideas as well. There's a Strong Women Strengthening program for the elderly that's held through the Burlington Wellness Center. I sent you information on that, and I also sent you information, volunteer opportunities through Cedar Crest. So you don't have to do something related to physical therapy. I mean, you can do another activity and it can still count as service learning, but you do have to show how it's going to relate to the objectives of the class. Another thing a lot of people have done is done body mechanics demonstrations in their workplace. So we've had people who work at Walmart, and so they've done body mechanics for the checkouts, for the cashiers and the people who stock shelves. Last year we had someone who worked in a restaurant, and so he did body mechanics in service for the bartenders and for the waitress staff. So a lot of variety of things that you can do. So really, I hope you can enjoy this. It's really open to whatever your creativity is and whatever your passions and your interests are. You do have to write a proposal about what you want to do, and I have to approve the activity to make sure it actually applies to it can be applied to the assignment objectives. So make sure you describe not only which assignment objectives you're going to meet, but why, and be thorough. So even if it seems self-explanatory, I want you to be thorough in your explanations. That's due February 11th. You certainly can turn it in earlier. If for any reason after you turn it in and it's approved, you have to change activities, you need to let me know as soon as possible, and you have to resubmit your proposal. So make sure if you have any problems, something falls through and you have to change activities, just let me know as soon as you can. The summary paper, you have to describe, what you did, who you did it with. which objectives you actually addressed and why. There's the why again. Now this may be redundant from your proposal, but that's the proposal you're doing beforehand. You're conjecturing which objectives you're going to address, and after you complete the activity you're actually going to be able to describe which objectives you addressed and why. I want you to talk about what you liked, what went well about the activity, and anything you might have done differently or that could go better. And I want you to spend some time reflecting and think about what impact this activity had on the group that you were involved with, and also the impact on you, both as a physical therapist and as a community member. So you should be spending some time on the reflection. You should spend a lot more time reflecting and writing than you actually spend in the performance of the service learning activity. Make sure you type it, double space it. You do want to see it written well. So again, you may want to make sure you have somebody proofread it. And if you don't have anyone handy, go to the student services and they can help you out there, the Student Success Center. So that's really in a nutshell, that's all our introductory information. I love this course. I'm really excited about it. I hope you enjoy it as well. It's a great review and a good prep for you in your clinicals and your first job type of opportunity. So I really look forward to having a great semester. See you next week.